Hey, you're watching Swerve on YouTube, and today I want to show you how to make this Meteor effect, and it's created quite the buzz. So this project was by Nina Geometriva, and it looks pretty incredible. So if you like her work, go explore, check her out. She's got amazing work, and I have no doubt that you'll be impressed. So let's head into Illustrator, and I'm going to show you how to go around making a project like this. So I'll see you in the next part. Alright, so here we are in Illustrator, and the thing with the Meteor effect is that it consists of two shapes. We've got the ellipse shape and we've got the rectangle shape. So first off, let's begin with the circle. Alright, so get our ellipse tool, make sure that your fill is set to white, and we're just gonna resize it somewhere around here. Alright, perfect. And make sure that you don't have a stroke selected. Alright, so we're gonna zoom in just to get a better view of what we're doing. I'm gonna get the rectangle tool and just make it the same width as the circle. And I might change the color to pink, or hot pink, should I say. Alright, that's looking really nice. Alright, click OK. And we're gonna move it to the back, holding Control Shift and the square bracket key going backwards. And I'm gonna get some more rectangles. Gonna make one like this. And this is gonna be our first trail, should I say. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna call it for this tutorial. I'm gonna call it a trail. So we need to make sure that the gap between our trails are the same as the original trail. So I'm gonna hold Alt and drag across, make sure it snaps like this. And I'm gonna change the color to the background. So I'm gonna press I and select back. So this is gonna be our gap. Alright, so we're gonna select these two shapes and move it over to the right and make sure it snaps like before. And we're gonna do the same again. And for the last one, you just need to select the first trail and just move it till it snaps. Perfect. I'm going to select all of them and resize them. Perfect. Alright, so this is looking really nice for where we want to go. So I'm going to move this up a bit. And from this point, we can create some offsets just to make it look really nice. Alright, so what we're going to do is select. We can now move this up. Let's move it higher like that. Actually below. Alright, perfect. We can now get rid of the original trails that we had. And now we're just stuck with the gaps and the original base shape. So we can select these shapes. Actually, you know what? Select 3 of these shapes. So hold Shift, select the gaps, make sure you group them together. So Control G. And now we can select our base shape that we want to subtract from. And all we need to do is go to the Pathfinder and subtract. And it will bring it forward. So all we need to do is send it back. So Control Shift and the square bracket key going backwards. And from this point, we can now create offsets. So we're going to choose our direct selection tool. And we're going to create some offsets. So let's make one like this. We're going to make one short, one long, maybe one a bit shorter, and I'm going to make this the shortest. Alright, so we want to make some offsets here as well. Make this like that, and move this one a bit lower. Yeah. Alright, that's looking really nice. Okay, so now we need to make some pieces that have fallen off. So we're just gonna make another one the same size as the trail and just move it up like so. I might have to change a few bits. So I'm gonna select using that direct selection tool and move this down a bit like so. Yeah, that's perfect. And I'm just going to make another copy. So I'm going to hold Alt, drag, move it to the other side. Just make another one. like so. Right, that's perfect. So this is kind of our base shape before we start adding curves and stuff like that. So what I would like to do is make a new layer. So what I'm going to do is press Ctrl C, Ctrl F, and what we basically did was duplicate the circle, and we're going to make another layer. I'm going to make it around that size. So this is going to be the second layer. So I'm going to move it behind and change the color to a purple. Alright, so I like that purple a lot. Yeah, that's good. Alright, so you can just resize this to the width that you want your gap to be. I want my gap to be the same size as the trail. So what I'm going to do is make another shape just like that. I'm going to make it blue. And just so I can see it, I'm just going to move it around here. So I'm going to put it to the edge of our original shape, and we're just going to resize this circle to the size of that gap. Perfect. Alright, so now we can just get our rectangle tool. Gonna move it, make it the same size, same width as the circle, and we can move it up a bit more. So we're gonna make it around that size. Yeah, that's perfect. Alright, so we're gonna move it to the back, Control Shift, square bracket key going backwards. And I'm going to make it the same color as the purple. So I'm going to press I and click. Right, so this is the second shape. What we want to do is make sure that the gaps are offset. So what we're going to do is get a rectangle tool. We're going to make gaps here like that. Alright, so we got the first gap. I'm going to make it the same color as the background. And what we're going to do is keep on copying the gaps over like so. Just make another one. Make sure it's perpendicular with the original trails. Alright, perfect. Right, and you can just select the second two and just copy it over like so, and just move it how you want it. So yeah, I think that's good. That's perfect. So we've kind of made a base shape. So we're going to select the gaps like before. We're going to group it, so Control G, and we're going to select this shape and subtract. I'm going to move it behind, Control Shift and the square bracket key going backwards, and now we're going to offset these ones. So I'm going to make this one shorter like so, make this one shorter as well, and I'm gonna make this one short, and yeah, I really like it like that. Let's see, I'm gonna move this up a bit. Yeah, that's looking really nice. Okay, so let's see, we can add an addition somewhere around here, make it long. Right, that's good, really good. And then I'm just going to put one down here. Just zoom in so you can get a better view of what you're doing. It's really catching speed. Alright, so that's looking really good. Okay, so lastly, what we can do is make the final layer. So what we're going to do is get our rectangle tool, make it the same size, put it on the edge just to represent the gap, make it blue. And what we're going to do is move it down to where the circle is. I'm going to make a copy, so Control C, Control F, and hold Alt and Shift to resize it, make it the same size. We're going to move it behind, Control Shift and the square bracket key going backwards. And I'm going to make it a teal kind of green, so somewhere around there. Right, that's perfect. And what I'm going to do is get our rectangle tool and just make it the same width again. Should snap into place. And what I'm going to do is drag it up to the top. Alright, so that's the final piece. And I'm just going to make a few extra pieces. Like so. And I'm going to make it purple. Just move it up like that. So these are just like extra pieces that have fallen off. And I'm going to make another one on the left hand side. And just move it down a bit. Resize it. The way I resize it is you could either resize it like from top to bottom, or you can hold Alt and it should resize both ways. Hope you understood what I meant. Alright, so I think we're pretty much set for the base shape. Alright, so now it's time to show you two methods. So I'm going to show you two methods of how to round off your shape. So the first method is pretty quick and simple. So if you have the latest version of Illustrator CC, then all you need to do is use your direct selection tool. And you should see these little markers or curve tools. And all you need to do is drag them in and it should curve off. Simple, just like that. Alright, so let me undo that. And if you don't have that and you have an older version of Illustrator, all you need to do is get your circle or ellipse tool and make sure you drag from this side all the way to the end like this. And what this does is basically you can select both shapes, and what you can do is use your shape builder tool and just go in between each of these gaps and just click and click. And if you delete the circle and change the color, it should round off just like that. It will take longer, but you know, it's worth the while, trust me. So I'm just going to use the latest version and just round it off very quickly. So what I'm going to do is just select all these shapes, every single one, just like that. And I'm going to zoom in just to see if I'm doing it properly and round it off. And now if you see, it looks really amazing. It looks stunning. Okay, so you know what, I think the blue one needs a trail as well, so let me do the same exact thing. I'm going to move this over to, whoops, hold Alt and drag, going to move it above, and this one's just going to be the color of the background. So what I'm going to do is move it down, and I'm going to select these 2 points and put them back to normal. And I'm going to change the color to the background. Alright. So that's just the trail for this color right here. Anyways, let me get the ellipse tool just to give it more style. And you can just add some stars change the color to white. Make some small ones. Like so. Just to give it that feel. And you can zoom in if you want to go really small. Like so. Alright. I think that's about it. So let's see. Yeah, I think that looks really nice. So you can experiment so much with this. You can do it with many shapes. So it just takes trial and error, I would say. Alright, so what I'm going to do is resize it, just make it a bit bigger. Whoops. Select everything, make it a bit bigger. And yeah, you know what? I'm going to take away this one. It's looking really great. Okay. So I like the way it turned out. What I'm going to do is add some text. So I'm going to use my font, X4 decoder, just to write some text to go along with the design. So I'm just going to type in Galaxy. I'm going to space it out a bit, so I'm going to highlight everything and hold Alt and just use the arrow keys. Galaxy H2O. Yeah, I like the sound of that. Alright, so Galaxy H2O. Alright. I might use Unisans for the H2O just to make it look bolder. I really like how this turned out. So I can't wait to see what you guys come up with this kind of style of, you know, Meteor effect kind of technique. You can do it with text, you can do it with typography, you know, experiment. Yeah, I'm gonna make this Unisans and just resize it. Alright, okay. Yeah, that's looking really nice. So this brings us to the end of the tutorial. I hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to leave a like, subscribe and comment, and I'll see you in another video.